Monday at the Independence Public Library. My name is Caitlin, and I'm so glad you joined me today. Today we are making pencils that look like Truffula trees. These trees are found in Dr. Seuss's story, The Lorax. They're pretty fun to make. And we do have craft kits at the library still available that you can pick up. For today's project, you need these supplies: 2 pencils, a paintbrush, some white paint, some feathers or something fluffy, and then you can use glue, tape, or the craft kit comes with rubber bands. I think those are pretty easy to use. You want to make sure that your workspace is covered with magazines, or old newspapers, and that you're wearing an old t-shirt or something that you can get dirty. We don't want to get paint on your new clothes. So I will pause here so you can collect your supplies. Okay, now that you've got your supplies, let's get started. So our first step is to paint the pencils white. So I'm going to hold the pencil by the eraser end and paint everything that's yellow all the way down to the end. This might take some time. There's no rush. The pencil's got a lot of sides to it. By holding it by the eraser, hopefully you won't get too much paint on your hands. But if you do, that's okay. Have you ever seen a white tree before? There are trees that are white. Dr. Seuss made up a pretend tree called the Truffula Tree, but there's trees called birch trees that actually have white bark. They're pretty neat to look at. I don't know if there's any birch trees in Iowa, but if you go out to the East Coast and up north, I know that there's lots of birch trees. They kind of look like Truffula trees, but they don't have colorful feathers at the top. So the best part about this craft is that it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little messy, and no one's complaining. You see my pencil's just about all the way white here. All right, so now that my pencil's white, I'm going to set it down so it can dry. If you had something you could stick it in, like a piece of foam, you could stick it in that, but I'm just going to set mine right down on the paper and go to the next one. Now this craft takes a little bit of patience because we will have to pause here after our pencils are painted until our paint is dry. It's a good time to go wash your hands, maybe clean up your space, maybe have a snack, whatever you need to do this morning. Now you can wash this paintbrush and use it again if you want to paint something else at your house, or you can throw it away. It's up to you. Just make sure you put the lid back on your paint cup before you put it in the trash can. Do you have a favorite Dr. Seuss story? Dr. Seuss's birthday is tomorrow, March 2nd. I'm not exactly sure how old he would be, but we celebrate his birthday every year. They call it Read Across America Day. Okay, so that pencil is now pretty much all white. So I'm going to set this pencil down to dry, and I'm going to pause the video. When your pencils are dry, you can come back and join me. Okay, now that your paint on your pencils are dry, we're going to take one of the pencils, we're going to draw some gray markings on the other pencil, like this. Just kind of scribble the gray on there on all the sides and just make some stripes. You can make as many or as few stripes as you'd like. And then you're going to take your hand and you're going to kind of smudge that pencil just a little bit. And it kind of gets a little smudgy. You can see I got some paint on my hands, that's okay. So that way it looks like your pencil has stripes. Do you see what that looks like? I think it looks pretty cool. We're going to do that to the other pencil too. Again, you can do as many stripes or as few stripes as you'd like. And then just kind of smudge that. If you have paint on your hands, you can wash your hands later, but that pencil also has stripes. Now we're going to take the feathers. My kit has a pink and a red feather. Some kits have 2 reds and some have 2 pinks. And the rubber bands, we're going to attach the feathers to the top of the pencil. So you're going to take the feather, kind of wrap it around the top there where the eraser sits. And then take your rubber band and just rubber band it on. You have to wrap it around a few times. Like that. See? So now you can see the stripes on your pencil. You can see the feather at the top. It looks pretty fun. Then we'll do it with this one as well. So we'll take the feather, wrap it around the top, take the rubber band, rubber band that on, and now we have a Truffula Tree pencil. It's white, it has stripes, and it's got the feathers at the top. Now that does kind of get rid of the eraser, so if you wanted to use a pencil for school or at home, you need a separate eraser, but I think it's pretty fun. So we have 2 Truffula Tree pencils. Like that. Looks pretty great. Now the Truffula Tree comes from the Dr. Seuss book called The Lorax, like I said. And this is a DVD of the Lorax. You can see the trees there behind him with the different colored tops and the stripes. The Lorax was a creature who speaks for the trees because the trees don't have a voice. Have you ever heard a tree talk? I haven't. We have this as a book or as a movie at the library you can check out. This is a book about Dr. Seuss, about him and his life. I looked it up. If Dr. Seuss was alive today, on Tuesday, his birthday, he would be 117 years old. Can you imagine? This is a favorite book of mine called Hop on Pop. See those kids, they're hopping on their dad? Hop on Pop. That's a fun Dr. Seuss book. This one is called The Sneetches and Other Stories. This is also a fun one. And then one that we also have a book or a movie for is Horton Hears a Who. Horton is this elephant here. He's a pretty cool guy. That's all I've got for you today. Thank you for joining me in making some pencils. I hope that those are fun, whether you use them at school or at home. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for another Maker Monday.